America will progress in the way that it finally needs to now. Maybe America will take the steps necessary to actually be the greatest. And like I'm talking about, we should be really shitting on everybody.
With that being said, and that history of degradation for black people is not that far off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So isn't this going in the right direction?
No, it just took.
Go ahead.
Look.
Isn't it going in the right direction slowly? Like, because you don't. We got.
It is. We do have progress. You gotta admit
we progressively went really bad for a long time. Like, you don't turn a problem into success overnight. Like, you have baby steps, and
especially when you're coming from straight enslavement,
and it's hard. Yeah, it's
hard. Granted, yeah.
And
it's compared to slavery, yeah.
You know,
are we better?
That's what sucks,
though. People's mindsets.
Yeah.
Do you feel like black people are better off now than they were with, let's say, Clinton in office?
I don't know. I was an adult. I wasn't an adult.
Yeah.
I feel like so many people talk so highly about the Clinton years, even though we know now that mass incarceration, mandatory.
It doesn't seem like that situation was right because
mandated.
I know a lot of people that got killed.
Drug offenses.
A lot of drug dealing, shootouts and shit like that.
I don't think that was good. It was a good time. I think it was a progressive time because you know.
And I don't think liberals are the enemy of. I mean the friend of black people.
Man,
you know what it is,
man.
This is what it is.
I think you might have something.
And that's why I'm a registered independent, because they only latch on to certain issues to be adversarial
that benefit them.
That are adversarial to conservative.
No, I think that what it is, I think they genuinely don't understand our plight. They want to. But they don't. They genuinely don't. Just like I think I heard
because they don't even take a step back to figure out how we feel and how we're coming from.
I heard Malcolm X say. Yeah. I heard Malcolm X say he was talking about the civil rights laws and civil rights movement, and he said that as long as the laws are on the books already. He said the northern Negro isn't going through this. The southern Negro is. The laws are already in the books for them to be just like us, but it's not happening. So all of this rhetoric that you're hearing from white liberals, it doesn't mean anything. The laws are in the books. They just need to be carried out as such. And that was like what he was bringing to everybody's mind is like I said, equality is in the books for us. Everything is supposed to be equal for us. But when it comes down to it, all it takes is a white person to be a racist person to be the witness, the police, the lawyer, or the judge, and can have your entire life change.
That's the institutional control. That's where we have to make more leaps and bounds in. Yeah, just minorities in general, no matter what, black, brown, and whatever. You know what I mean? Just
in the judicial institution.
I would almost,
judicially for sure, and more lobbyists and lawmakers.
I'd do this
and banking.
I'd say this. You know.
I feel like the people that control the money control it all.
You know the lady. What is it? I guess her name, Lady Justice or whatever. The one that she's holding the fucking scales or whatever. Blind Justice. That's what should happen now. That there should no longer be an instance in which juries or judges can see the person that they're finna put in jail. No more.
What if they hear the name though?
Not even the name. It shouldn't even matter. The crime.
It should be
the crime in the case.
What about sex?
Complaining.
Not even sex. Not even sex should matter. Let's take away the identification.
Defendant one, defendant two,
don't they?
It depends on if it's high level, like risky, like if it's risky for the jurors, if they think that because it's for some drug cases where like they be knocking off, But if you did that, I bet you'd see a dramatic decrease in imprisonment for black people.
If they didn't see him during the whole trial,
he said dramatic.
Yeah. If you just did
a dramatic
if the jury
decrease.
was sitting there. And they didn't know the race of the person that they were fixing to put in jail. I bet it would decrease.
Or like the judge just sees what the person did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But then you wouldn't have any
judge can't
feeling
see either.
But he wouldn't have any human
You're
empathy.
not supposed to. It's supposed to be
true.
justice.
That's true.
It's supposed to have feeling in there.
Ooh, but that would be some draconian shit, man. Because we had that.
And you know what? And you might let.
You're not supposed to have feeling.
And you might let free the fucker that's got his whole fucking face tattooed up. But you know what? He might not have fucking done it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That time.
That's the. But yeah. They didn't catch me for that one.
I mean,
I told you I was innocent for that shit, but I was killing another motherfucker.
You shouldn't have feeling and human empathy. Like it should be the standard of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the documentary.
You said human empathy should be.
Should not be.
Oh yeah, of course it should not be.
It should be the standard of the law and whatever the law.
Exactly.
Like, you know how they, like in a murder case, like a heinous murder case.
Right.
Like the judge has to give his fucking end of the shit, and he wants to tell the whole fucking courtroom how I'm gonna give this tough sentence to this. You shouldn't even be involved in none of that shit, judge.
Yeah.
That right there is unethical.
I saw a judge sit up there.
That's unethical.
And a kid a guy was giving his I'm sorry for this, but I feel like there was some injustice here. We didn't get a chance to do this. And he took it and he said, "You're showing me no sympathy, and you're doing this." And it's like, okay, what looks like sympathy to you traditionally might not be the same sympathy that he portrays. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't go by that whatever gold book or standard in which those people feel, then you're all of a sudden you're the outcast. All of a sudden you're automatically. There's a documentary
on makeup book of standards.
There's a documentary on Netflix, and it's about the prison system, and it talks about in Norway they have one of the it's essentially the best prison in the world, and it's a maximum security prison, but they have the lowest recidivism rate where people get locked back up for crimes, right? And that's where all the murderers go there, whatever go there. So they only can serve.
I think I've seen a documentary on it.
They can only serve. Yeah, they can only serve 25 years max.
Right.
But while they're in there, they have programs. They have outreach programs, educational programs. They have music programs. They have culinary art school. They have all these different things that they can do to maintain their humanness. And what they said was, do you want this person to get out and be a culinary art major or be a fucking painter or something, or do you want somebody that just came from Rikers that had to survive for 10 years in Rikers, or do you want that person living next to you?
Do you want a motherfucking maniac?
But herein lies
trying to hide his booty the whole time.
But herein lies the cyclical aspect. No. Here comes the cyclical aspect, because peep this: if all the people out there are already getting that same education, that same good health care, when they give it to the prisoners, who's gonna give a fuck? Out here, if you gave college programs and shit like that just completely for free, where they could get masters and all this shit for absolutely nothing, or even go take culinary arts training and do all this shit in all the prisons, America would be fucking outraged. And you just
gotta learn how to pay for it though, man.
But they're paying so much. They're paying so much.
I understand that, but
no. Listen, they're paying. They pay almost. Listen, they pay $30,000 a prisoner to house them in a year.
I understand.
How much are they giving you for education?
I know the stats. I understand that. What I'm saying is, all the major, if you listen to any of the major economists, how are you gonna pay for this shit? That's the problem.
Stop spending money on housing them for 10 years and pay for 5 years and have them.
I think legalizing drugs would help. Definitely. Legalizing drugs, all drugs, that would kill a lot of the people that are in jail and shit. They wouldn't be there for drugs.
But now you've taken money away, because now you've stopped a lot of the money that comes into the prison system. You stopped a lot of those probation fees. You stopped a lot of those tickets.
That's what lobbyists are there for, though. That's what our lobby. One thing I would say
that's what our crooks are there for.
The reason why our police force is so shitty, as far as per capita,
it's prison for profit.
And we have so many many cops that are so untrained. It's because we gotta, like you said, it's prison for profit. And so if you just if you just legalize drugs, you would have a more professional police force like the Polizei in Germany.
You wouldn't need as many.
Right. Yeah. You would have more specialized police.
That's another thing that I say we should socialize more. Police should not be able to use confiscated funds or any confiscated property to their own monetary gain at all in any circumstance.
Because while they catching all the drug dealers, they missing all the goddamn serial killers.
Police forces should get get money based on per capita in which they are policing the city in which they're policing, and that should be just across the board.
There was a town, I think it was in Alabama, that disbanded their police force, and they hired military contractors that all they looked for is crime.
Yeah.
Not speeding tickets, not little ticket violations. and they had the best interactions with cops, and they had the least amount of crime. Because obviously you have these dudes, they're all highly trained. Yeah. And then they know how to discern whether I need to shoot this person or I need to just grab this person.
Like my wife is saying, more education should be required of the police, like teachers, and that just like what you're saying, you're getting more training in the military. Yeah. You're not like you said.
We're seeing fat cops.
You're, like you said, when you're at war, you can't shoot unless unless you see a weapon. Right. And it's like they don't. How is war tactics more progressive than regular domestic tactics, policing tactics?
Well, that's always my gripe with when I talk to former police officers, police officers like currently. I'm always like, man, 18-year-old infantryman, basic infantry, not on special forces, not a rain, none of those specialized units, just a basic infantryman. He can't shoot unless he's fired upon in a fucking hostile foreign war zone.
Yeah.
You're allowed to just shoot American citizens.
Unarmed or not.
Because of the get away with it.
Because of the perceived threat.
But because of that they do it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because they know they know that subconsciously they're not going to get in trouble for that shit.
Now let's go back. Again, cyclical. Exactly. Again, it's cyclical because you have people that say, well, you know what?
Well, they're afraid of black people because a lot of the black folks are getting shot. Because look, wait. But here's the thing though, like people always say like I'm not racist or whatever, and like there's this
or whatever.
But
I'm not racist or whatever.
But
I'm not racist or whatever.
There's like these concentric circles of racism that spawn out. Like there's like the fucking Turbo Billy Klansman in the middle, right? And then there's branches off of that okay, I can
Turbo Billy's cousin.
You work with him at work. He doesn't really show his racism,
right?
And then there's people that are judges that can blend in and talk the rhetoric to be able to interact with black people.
Yeah.
And there's people that say, hey, I have 2 black friends. They really don't like that nigga, but they got 2 black friends.
They really don't like that nigga.
But you know what I'm saying? And they really don't. They hate black people too, but they know how to assimilate.
There's a racist spectrum. There's a racism spectrum.
Circles of concentric circles that span out.
And people always think that when we say racism, we're only talking about the person that wakes up every fucking day and is Turbo Billy. Fuck niggers.
Turbo Billy.
I hate them. Right. I'm better than them. Racism is so much more of a broadened spectrum than it is. There's so much subtle racism, and that's where it comes into play, especially with policing, because it's so subjective. Where, you know what? I mean, there's a lady that comes into the barbershop now.
I don't think it's subjective. I think it's really white and black.
Well, no, there's people. What I'm saying as far as law and crime and how you're gonna fight crime, so to say. You can look at a car, but she said that she can look at any vehicle on the road and find a reason to pull it over, even if she says if it looks like your tire pressure is low to her. That she can pull you over and say, yeah, your tire pressure look like your car was unsafe. License and registration. There's an interaction with the law.
License and registration. Whatever you're gonna say.
It's subjective.
Let me ask you a question.
She could be perfectly inflated though. It's her perception of it.
So
I'm underinflated at the moment.
I think what's like 66% of the population is white, right?
Yeah,
67, something like that, right? So how many percentage of white people in the South do you think are racism?
At least 75 to 80%.
So how many percentage of the police? How much the percentage of the police is white?
What percentage of the police is white?
Yeah.
Probably about 85%.
Right. So how many percentage of that do you think is racism that are police?
80%.
You know what I'm saying? So when you do and that's probably kind of high. But let's just say 50%.
That's probably kind of high.
But again, go into what I was saying before. But a witness.
They say those guys fall in their concentric circles and they don't think they're racist and they don't understand they're racist.
No, they know they're racist, bro. You know when you don't like black people. Fuck yeah. There's people that we all know that are fucking that don't like black people.
Yeah.
Like they ain't never gonna hang out with the black people. They fucking their views towards certain things.
We don't have to drop names either.
But all it takes is, like I said, witness, a police officer, a judge, or a lawyer. One of those 4. If any one of those 4 people, like you said, about 67% of America is white. Right. If any one of those 4 people are racist, you could be fucked over your life can be ruined because of them. And that is a scare.
And even then, you can get to all that, and all 4 of those people not be racist. You can get to your probation officer, and that motherfucker be racist, and you can be fucked
anywhere, bro. I'm telling you,
and you can be fucked.
Another witness. It could be a different lawyer. It could be a different judge. I'm telling you, all of that shit plays a fucking part in all of it. It's all.
So what you said about them not being able to see, and it just be like defendant
it'd be
one,
way
defendant.
better.
It'd be way better because everything would be subjective. Like
it shouldn't matter what I'm wearing.
It would just be the facts.
It shouldn't matter if I got to dress like Poole when I went to court today, or if I had to dress like me when I went to court. It shouldn't matter. What my case involves is all that should matter. You know how I present my innocence.
Because if I thought I was innocent, I'm not over there showing sympathy to because all that shit is numb to me because I don't know.
Yeah.
So if I. You know what I'm saying? If I was sitting over there and I'm innocent, but you think I'm over there being arrogant,
nah,
and you be like, "Fuck him."
I'm gonna drop a gem on y'all. So there's a actual prison, because what back to the prison documentary that I was telling y'all about. The Norwegian prison warden came out here, and he was talking to Rikers, and they were interested in how they can improve their prison or whatnot. So he went out there and he was giving them tips and this, that, and another. And they were like, yeah, we can't do that because of safety. We can't do that because of this, that, and another. There's a prison in South Dakota that's already implementing it, and it's turning into one of the best prisons in the country. Okay,
it's cold than a bitch up there.
So she asked, like when she gets, I call them bosses. I don't know what they're called though. What are they called? The wardens. They're not wardens though. What are the other ones? Correctional officers. I call them bosses.
No,
we always call them bosses. Yeah, we call them bosses. Like, hey, boss. That's what we called them when we was in jail. But so whenever they get
in jail,
when they get enough,
you were there.
Let me get the hell out of here, Jimmy.
Allegedly, they did something.
I can't hang around.
I had either a racist witness or
the white man.
Yeah. So what happened was when she it's a white lady that's the warden of that prison, and when she gets a new group of correctional officers, she tells them like, hey, you know, if you knew that the person that that did some crime to you was going to jail for whatever, let's say they, I don't know, assaulted somebody in your family, they went to jail, and while they were in jail, they got their own dorm room, they got to go to culinary arts school, do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. How would you feel? And of course they're like, shit, that would suck. Of course I wouldn't want that. And she said, that's why we're not the Department of Emotional fucking issues. She said, we're the Department of Correctional facilities. We're not. Our emotions aren't supposed to be involved in it. We're supposed to be correcting and rehabilitating these people to make them better.
It helps black people the most, though.
Without a doubt, we know it because you have to fucking survive. When people don't understand, it's like it's equivalent to going to the military where you're going to a fucking war zone and you have to survive. There's certain things that come on in your fucking head that it is hard to assimilate when you get back, man. It is fucking hard.
Most people that go to prison, if they get them long years, they tell people, I'm done. Don't visit me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Or when they get out, bro, I gotta go back. I can't stay out here. This shit is too weird to me. Everything is fucked up. They said, imagine being in prison for 10 years and you shit in the open where everybody can see you. You're worried about everybody that walks around you that has a hand in their pocket. You can't do that. And then you get out and it's like, okay, you're free. Go be a upstanding citizen again. How hard that would fucking be.
That's the problem with our whole prison system.
They took out the correctional and the rehabilitation part.
Yeah,
they just do the lockup.
But do you think that
and torture?
Most of those like federal type prisoners are they're are they conning you, or are they really getting rehabilitated?
Right.
At the federal,
it's a lot of that though.
You know what I'm saying? And like where we have to decide is, are we going to?
It's a lot of sociopaths in there.
Right. Are we going to actually do something like you said? Give them a skill they can use when they get out.
Right.
Or are we are we going to like just kill them?
Yeah.
You know, because they're bad people.
I think we should kill rapists though.
Well, there are some egregious crimes that I think that we shouldn't even have this whole injection. Like, why can't we just take a bullet and go boom?
And it's
like
cheaper.
It's 25 cents.
Yeah.
And like our taxpayer dollars wouldn't be used on fucking injecting a dude with all these thousands of dollars.
Strapping him down.
Not kill him.
What's funny is they say that economists have said that it's physically more responsible to house somebody for their entire life than it is to kill them, because whenever you have a death penalty case, there's automatic appeals that go into play. It costs up to $1.5 million to almost $2 million just for one death row case. Then you have to house them for almost a decade before you can kill them. But
that's a flaw in our system, though.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call it a flaw. What I'm saying is that I used to be for the death penalty until I started seeing how many people actually did not commit crimes and start getting out.
Right.
So that bothers me.
But now with the DNA evidence that we have,
yeah,
I would say now.
But as good as DNA evidence is, what if 10 years from now we look back and say, fuck, we had been using that shitty ass DNA for so long. This shit is way better.
Our shit's
maybe Turbo Billy was in the mix in there.
All I'm saying is that
I didn't really like that nigger anyway. I'm taking DNA out.
DNA can be anywhere.
Lost that DNA. I don't know where that DNA went.
We're freeing a lot of people because of our
DNA
technology. You
know
what I'm saying?
So I don't know where that evidence
you can't have it both ways. We're also freeing people that
we're freeing them.
So right now we have it's 99.9%. So let's just say 99.9% of humans are gonna get the right treatment. I think we should just fucking boom. Like if you're a child pedophile rapist, if you're a murderer, and we got the DNA evidence and it's a death penalty, you should just kill him within a month.
But even murder though,
or on spot.
Those are never death penalty cases.
Well, not like a second degree murder. Not a second degree murder. I'm talking about
capital murder.
If you're like a serial killer, or if you kill
you robbing somebody or something and rob them.
Even robbing somebody,
I'm saying ain't killing them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
I mean, the law's subjective when we're talking about it. It can't be subjective when a judge. So we're just kind of talking ideas. But what I'm saying is, if it's an egregious crime like that, in my opinion, I think they should just shoot him Like it should
right there on the scene.
No,
like terrorism
that'd be great.
And shit like that.
Like mass killing. Child pedophile,
child shit,
you know what I'm saying, shit like that, where we know that's like the ultimate egregious, like you're
like regardless of how long you were in jail, I don't want you next door to me.
Right,
I've known a murderer, you know? Like I've known a couple murderers, and I wouldn't mind them living next door to me. That's that, you know what I'm saying? Like so that shows you the level, but there's nothing in the judicial system.
That sounded so odd. And I know.
I've known some murder. No, I'm saying I've known murderers. I've known murder. It was like beef shit, but you know, and that's what I say.
But that's the thing, though.
There's beef shit, but it's like that person doesn't exist no more that they killed, and who's to say that somebody can't push you to the point to where you would kill them? You get what I'm saying? So that's why I look at them. And there was another one where he did his time and he's been out of jail, but it's like, I know him. I wouldn't mind him living next door to me. He's a regular.
If it's a life or death struggle on the street, I don't consider that. I think that he's a killer. He's killed somebody.
Yeah.
But I think murderer is like someone who kills someone that's
just out
weaker,
of fun or something.
That's weaker than them. That's a boy. Because I mean,
the circumstance.
You know, there's probably 3 or 4 guys that y'all roll with that have killed people in the military.
Exactly, and that you wouldn't consider them murderers.
And probably at a higher rate than anyone you know on the street. You know what I'm saying? So are we? You know, is that? You know what I mean? I would hope people want to live next to him. I mean, you know what I mean?
Like, I don't want you to live next to me, Parada.
But
I wouldn't. I mean, if I were you, I wouldn't either. Going at your fucking neck.
I fucking hate pool, but
you're going at your neck,
and I could spend another at least 5 hours just talking shit about him. But we're not gonna
drink your drink.
Too easy. It's too easy.
But any other topics you got on the docket? We're here. New Year's Eve.
Sending it to you, pal.
Sunday.
Hey, bro, you don't dictate what we do on our show, bro. You just sit there and you ride it out.
And we have Smeagol back from Lord of the Rings. And here we go.
You motherfucker.
How's the career been since?
Shut up, bro.
But no, I think that another big issue definitely was Trump all year.
Oh, my favorite. Let's do
Trump all year. And Trump is all of those things, like the equality conversation, like the sexual assault conversation, the bullying conversation,
like the pussy grabbing
but before all that, he was telling me before all that, he was like, all that shit with the Trump Towers, bro, was done with with mob ties. He's like, this guy can't become president. He's got too many mob ties. He's like, what the fuck, bro?
Just
and
enough.
Then all of a sudden, president, he's like, what the fuck?
Hey, but did I tell
y'all? I can't believe this shit.
Hey, but did I tell y'all the last time I was on here that Michael Flynn was gonna flip?
Yeah.
The next person is gonna be Donald Trump Jr. Like I said, you can be a junior intelligence observer and you can see the writing on the wall on what happened. So I don't know, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, like it's these are not like grade A. Criminals, bro. Like these are not mastermind criminals.
No, yeah.
They're just like, I can get that much money. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
They're not trying to cover bases. They're not doing spreadsheets.
He's writing emails and shit.
Yeah.
Like, yo, dog.
Like, he didn't check his P's and Q's or none of that shit. He was like, bro, do that shit.
There's way better ways to share information without anybody knowing at all.
Like Donald Trump is an idiot, bro. Like he's a big idiot.
There's this thing.
He's a winner.
There's this thing where you share where
he wins.
Where you do like a like an Excel sheet, and like I have the login information and you have the login information. I will update my login and I will update my fucking Excel thing, and you log in, look at it, see what I sent. Boom. It's and nobody can really trace that shit. Nope, it's untraceable, bro. Right. It's I mean, except unless they get your actual computer and hack it. As far as getting into that,
they can find your like MAC address signatures and shit like that. But that's like highest level.
But and then you can have the access to whatever's on the fucking thing. But to even get on a red flag list to get that shit you would have to have done something to get on that list. But if I wanted to share something with you, let's say it was just some drug shit, like, you know what, yeah, bring me a burg or whatever, and I started an Excel sheet, you have the login, I have the login. So then when you log on to your Excel, boom, 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 it'll show, oh, he needs a burg. And then you say, boom, I'm coming. And then I log in. I'm talking about it's that fucking easy where nobody can trade. That shit doesn't even go through the internet. It's nothing. It's like an app on my end, an app on your end, and you have access, I have access. But these fuckers, like you said, sending emails, yeah, talk to Russia, do it.
Yeah, I mean,
do it.
Who knows what's gonna happen with that? But I just think it's crazy.
Who knows? What should happen?
I just think it's crazy that people
impeachment
that people fucking still support.
You don't
that
think he'll go to jail?
No, they won't, because the next one will pardon him.
Don't put none in here.
Hey, what
the next one will pardon him, and that'll be it.
I need a little bit of warmth in mine. Some warmth. There you go. That's good.
Yeah, Pence will. No, there won't be any jail time.
I mean,
I don't want him in there either. But as far as politics goes, he's light years better than fucking Trump.
I think that,
and he's gonna be a lame duck president. So what are they? They're not gonna be like, he's not gonna have too much say so in anything. Everybody's gonna be jockeying for position in the Senate and Congress. Everybody's gonna be just trying to get reelected.
Well,
when
this
it comes
next
time.
year, this next year is gonna be crucial for Trump.
Yeah,
because the midterm elections.
Yeah,
and another thing is. Is that it's like I said earlier, man? This is like a case study. Like, people still support him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's the crazy part to me.
If this was like I always say, all the detractors, if this was Obama, they would be going insane.
Oh, and yeah.
So this is like I said, this presidency.
Oh yeah,
this presidency is like a case study.
They don't even care what he does
in our modern time on how people think, how people view shit. Like, it's all tribalism.
No, it's racism.
Racism.
Let's. I feel like you sugarcoat that shit so much. It's racism. Like, white people just ride whatever dumb shit that he's gonna do. Like,
it's not all white people. Though.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Even I was against Obama when he said, "You know what?
They were against everything Obama fucking did.
I'm gonna mandate health care." I said, "Oh shit! Well, I'm gonna vote for fucking." I mean, no. Hillary said she was gonna mandate health care, and that's what made me say, "Well, shit, I'm gonna go with Obama on that." You know, like I can't remember which one said it, but one of them said that. No, Obama said he wasn't gonna mandate it. Then he ended up mandating it, and I was pissed off about it because I was like, that was the one difference that you and Hillary had, was mandating health care, and I was like, I went with you because you said you weren't gonna mandate it. Like, that pissed me off, and I don't like, it's fucking Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I disagree with a lot of his foreign policy shit that he made the same mistake Bush did by ousting Gaddafi, and now Lebanon's a failed state. Libya's a failed state.
Did he oust him, or the people ousted him?
No. He armed the rebels. He had the special operations in there helping them and arming the rebels.
He did the
but it was damned if you do, damned if you don't. Fight terrorism in some way by arming the rebels and maybe knock down them.
He didn't make the necessary. That was a huge mistake. I mean, it's a failed state now.
Yeah.
So ISIS is there. We're fighting war. Like, there's conflict. People are dying. There's mass migration. Syria, same thing. I mean, it's just.
Slavery's back.
I mean, it's crazy.
Slavery's back in full effect over there. But did he listen to his generals and do that, or did he just make some willy-nilly decision and do that? Because I feel like that's totally different.
You think he woke up and was like, I'm going to do this?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what
like
the case may
Trump
be.
Does.
It's still under his presidency.
But it kind of does, because if you don't have the military expertise and you confide in your generals to make those decisions and you trust them, sure, it's going to fall under your
But that's why you're
administration.
The president. You make the final decision.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely think it's still Obama's fault if he took their advice.
Just like when he killed Osama bin Laden, if something went wrong, it was on him.
Yeah.
Hey, but do you think he was in there in the operations room planning it? No, of course not.
Yeah.
But he gave the okay
to
hit the target.
You don't think
he helped
plan it?
Of course not.
I mean, not help plan it, but you don't think he overheard the situation?
The guys that were actually executing the mission, and those kind of units, like those top tier units, they all have input. They all want to know. They all have input, because you're going to be the one in there fucking kicking in that door. So you want to have input. You don't want.
Okay.
You know I feel. As far as the tactical battlefield type shit.
No, I definitely don't think he's in there with tactics.
But as far as hey, that's the house he's in. Should we drone it? Let's be sure. Let's go in and get him. That was his decision.
Right. Okay.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, and to do it by the Pakistan's pretty much their West Point when we weren't supposed to be in there. With Delta and SEAL Team 6.
But that's a big decision.
That's a huge decision.
That's a big decision.
And people never give him credit for that.
To bomb it or go get him so we can make sure.
And people never give him credit. That took a lot of stones to do. That's one that I would say that he had a huge sack and he had a huge balls. Because most guys that talk
niggas nuts, bro.
Because most guys would talk shit and they would just drone that bitch. They wouldn't even, you know what I mean? They wouldn't risk it.
Literally drop the biggest bomb we have, Trump.
On that shit.
Like that's this first week in fucking
that's what
presidency.
They did.
86,000 tomahawks.
Hey, that's what Al Zakari did to fucking, George Bush did to Al Zakari. Just dropped like a fucking 2,000-pound tomahawk on his ass.
It's fucking crazy.
Dude.
Trump, but basically Trump's election, Trump basically showed us, the election of Trump, the nominee of Trump, all of it, the support of Trump showed us that
the support of Trump to be president is weird.
People that that hated Obama so much and hate. I don't know if it was because he's black. I don't know what it is.
It's more rural.
I feel to put him in politics
America.
at all is straight racism. Like he has no why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why this guy?
Yeah.
Well,
what are we doing?
He's black and he's a Democrat.
He speaks.
That's why.
Well,
I'm talking about Trump. Like, why did you pick this guy?
Well, they hated Hillary though. That's why.
No, I'm
saying,
but how?
But
I'm just saying. How do you pick Trump out of all people to pick for president of the United States? How do you pick Trump?
I think they hated Obama more than they hated Hillary, and that's what it was. It was we lost, and y'all won with Obama, so we're gonna get y'all back.
How do you pick Trump? Like out of all the people to pick in the world, Trump.
Well, how do you pick Hillary or Trump?
Hillary's a lifelong politician. Hillary's a lifelong politician. So some of that makes sense, but like a lot of that makes sense.
But that whole
but bringing this nigga out of Trump?
Nah, that whole lesser of two evils thing, that shit is so played out to me. Trump was by far the worst fucking candidate.
You can't even compare that type of person to Hillary, bro.
Yeah.
He's a fucking scumbag compared to Hillary.
Hillary was the lesser of two evils.
Lesser of two evils,
yeah. Hillary is the lesser of two evils.
But it's like
but it's a huge gap, though.
Yeah, like
that's what people feel.
But people were actually sitting there kind of like, I don't know, we damned if we do, damned if we don't.
Like,
I was like, no, the fuck we're not.
But it's because people
aren't. How do you pick this guy?
It's because people aren't nuanced on policy and what it takes to run the country.
They hold some in higher regard. They hold some policies in higher regard than they do others.
Well, how do you pick Trump?
Well, all they hear is the veterans, make America great, military strong.
Yeah.
You know, America great.
Then he cuts their fucking health care. He slashes the VA. I'm all for the military. And why aren't you standing instead of protesting? But you know what? Fuck it. Fuck the VA. I'm gonna cut their budget. I'm gonna do come on, man.
But he won. You gotta give him credit. He won the fucking election though.
And like I say, I blame white liberals for that. Well,
he won it. You know.
Yeah, he won it. He won it. Fucking Hulk Hogan could have ran as a conservative and won that shit. I
think so too. That's crazy. That was nuts, bro.
The only thing we had, the only opportunity we had would have been somebody, maybe Bernie Sanders, but even he was probably seen as like a fucking sellout because
he's too cuckoo for my taste.
I think he's
too progressive.
I think
he's
too
progressive.
He was way too
progressive
Jewish,
for people. People hate that he's actually progressive. He's so progressive. Motherfucker actually marched with Martin Luther King.
That was not gonna fly with Turbo Billy at all.
But I think he would be a good person on your council.
But let's pick
say on Trump's council, you would need a guy like Bernie Sanders that's so diametrically opposed that can give him some balance.
No, they would hate each other.
But you need that.
Yeah, but that would be good. Trump doesn't have that. He doesn't have the mental capacity to have somebody that adversarial so close to him.
Sounds good in theory.
No.
He sounds good in theory. Hell no, he'd probably try to shoot that nigga in the back row.
Try to poison him or something.
Yeah, but Trump's an intelligent dude. His ego is what fucks him.
Trump is a fucking big. You
it's
thought it was.
Ego.
You thought
you think he's a smart guy?
Yeah, you don't become
smart,
a billionaire
bro.
off of stupidity.
He's smart, bro.
But as far as you go, You know what?
I've seen some stupid millionaires, bro.
This billionaire should be the president. Should be the most powerful person in the country. That shit is so
he a billionaire?
Yeah, he's a billionaire. He's not he's not up there with like
tangible billions.
Yeah, he does. He's worth over $1 billion. Yeah.
So what do y'all think it means for the country? Like,
really?
I think that it means that we have to decide as progressives or
I thought that nigga went bankrupt.
not that we're gonna we have to decide as progressive whether or not we want this country to move forward or stay stagnant. And staying stagnant means the status quo. And what's been going on for, like we say, the last 50 fucking years. And we're just gonna all have to decide to unify behind that. That's all. Like,
boom,
it's either that or not.
We can't unify because we got too much racism among the middle class. It's too much. I want to be better than you in our middle class, social interactions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was what I was saying earlier. People that are in the middle, they think they're so close.
Like the elite are like, nigga, I don't give a fuck about none of you niggas. We all getting money up here. Fuck y'all, and we over here like, I just want to look better than you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we need to be like, bro, we need to get together and we need to be like, take a little bit away from these people because these people tripping.
We need to get to a place to where, because obviously the majority of America wanted to vote for a different person, so therefore the majority does not rule. So when that happens, we need to decide to unify and say we need to make the politicians work for us again. They don't work for us.
They don't work. They work for corporations. They work for the rich, for the money.
And it's like this tax bill. That tax bill does not benefit the majority of America. Would a majority of America vote for that? No. But since it benefits the people that are in power and the rich people, they do that shit.
Business people. And if you're
that's not the majority of America.
If you're a 1099 employee, it helps you too. Like an independent contractor.
Yeah, that's me. I'm that. But I don't want. But I don't.
But that helps. That helps every person in here, bro.
This tax bill does.
Yeah.
Not Pool.
You 1099, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you were 1099.
No.
I was gonna say.
Doesn't help me.
I mean, but go. And even us sitting here, that benefits us. But would you rather it not happen?
The whole, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? And that's how we are as liberals.